Go ahead.
Congratulations! You've just found out you're expecting. Over the next 9 months, you will be filled with anticipation and excitement. There will be lots of things for you to consider before baby makes its grand appearance. One of the first decisions you will need to make is what to feed your baby. Will you breastfeed or bottle feed? After you feed that baby, you're going to have to clean it up. Will you be using cloth diapers or disposable? Once you start to care for your baby, you're going to have to decide if you want to be a stay-at-home parent or will you be returning to work. If you plan to return to work, you will need childcare for your little one. Turns out this could be a decision with long-range effects. When I became pregnant, my husband and I decided that I would be staying at home to raise my family. And for the next 15 years, I did just that. When I did need someone to help me with my little ones, my husband's mother lived about a mile down the road. I was truly blessed to have her help me raise my children. As the years went by, we would go on to have 2 more children, and when my youngest son was in 1st grade, I took a job as the secretary at his school. We rode to school together every single day until he turned 16 and cut me loose. At the school is where I discovered what other moms and dads were struggling with to provide child care for their children. We all have some sort of experience with child care. Maybe as a youth you were in child care. As a teenager you may have been a babysitter providing child care for others. Currently your own children may be in daycare. I want to take a few minutes today to talk to you about the benefits of high-quality child care during the child's birth to 5 years. These benefits are cognitive, social, physical, as well as long-term effects. But first let's define what child care is. Professor Carol Lee Howes of the University of California defines child care as all educational and daycare services for children who are too young to attend kindergarten. The textbook, titled Infants, Children, and Adolescents, refers to child care as any arrangement made to supervise children for parents who work outside the home. Child care can occur in the home of the child, in the home of the caregiver, or in a center-based program. Let's look at the history of child care. Edward Ziegler, professor of psychology at Yale University, reported that in 1970, nearly 50 years ago, the White House Conference on Children voted child care as one of the most serious problems facing American families at that time. He also sympathized with those parents in their search to find high-quality child care. When parents are selecting child care, they are not just purchasing a service such as water or trash pickup. They are actually purchasing an environment in which they hope that their child will thrive. In the 1980s, when Dr. Kate Gallagher was still in college, her advisor told her that there would be public early childhood programs everywhere. 30 years after that discussion, there were still only a small portion of children who had access to high-quality early childhood programs. When we talk about high-quality child care environments, numerous sources that I found include many of the same components. They all refer to small group size, low teacher-student ratio, teacher educational qualifications. The Abecedarian study is a long-running study of 100 North Carolina babies born in the 1970s. They were born into poverty, often to single mothers, screened and selected to be a part of one of the most remarkable studies on the benefits of early childhood. A main difference between this program and others was that it highlighted an intensive language program that began with these children at birth. Consider this. In a TED Talk on the Abecedarian study given by Dr. Kate Gallagher, research shows that by the age of 4, children who live in poverty hear 30 million fewer words than children who grow up in economically privileged home. Think about that. 30 million fewer words. In 2013, an article published in Developmental Psychology identified another key component of high-quality childcare. That component is a caregiver who can provide warm, responsive, and stimulating care involving frequent, positive social interactions. Rita Pearson shared a quote in an amazing presentation that she gave regarding this concept. This quote is from James Comer and states, "No significant learning can occur without a significant relationship. Relationships matter." Now that we've established what high-quality child care looks like, let's talk about the benefits. In an article by Ann Douglas published in The Hill, she tells us that children who receive high-quality early child care with fundamental math, literacy, and language components do better in school than those who don't. In a study titled Timing of High-Quality Child Care and Cognitive Language and Pre-Academic Development, Professor Lee tells us that high-quality child care in the first 3 years of life, along with positive care interactions, were associated with higher cognitive and pre-academic scores. He also informs us that expensive child care is not necessarily high-quality child care, but it is very clear that high-quality child care is very expensive. Remember the abecedarian study I was talking to you about earlier? Abecedarian means a person who is just learning. The 100 infants who were born into poverty and enrolled in the Carolina Abecedarian Project would forever have their lives changed by this experience. The children were assigned to one of two groups. Each group received diapers, nutritional supplements, pediatric care, and social work services. The Abecedarian children also received high-quality, year-round educational child care. Researchers did not see significant results like they had hoped immediately. But at 15 months of age, the Abecedarian children began to outperform their peers on cognitive and motor assessments. Here's where it gets interesting. The Abecedarian children were still outperforming their peers on intellectual measures and reading and math assessments through high school and adulthood. By the age of 21, only 40% of the non-participants were attending four-year colleges or employed, compared to 70% of the Abecedarian children. This is nearly 16 years after they participated in the project. Other results from the study include Abecedarian participants were less likely to become teen parents. They were less likely to experience depression, and by the age of 30, they were likely to hold a bachelor's degree and be employed. The newest findings show that by their mid-30s, the Abecedarian participants had significantly better health than their peers. We can conclude that high-quality child care experienced in a child's first 5 years of life is associated with better heart health in mid-adulthood also. In a quote from a speech titled "Assembly Required" by Dr. Kate Gallagher, she says, "The single most important feat of construction that our society undertakes is the assembly required to build physically, emotionally, cognitively, and socially healthy children. It's a process as complex as the most challenging feat of engineering, and a process that is easily thwarted by poverty and stress." She also challenges her audiences, as I do each of you, with these 3 questions. Do you want to live in an economically stable community with lower rates of poverty and crime? Invest in high-quality early childhood programs. Do you want to spend less on public health problems, such as obesity and heart disease? Invest in high-quality early childhood programs. Do you want your children to benefit from schools where all the children are healthy and prepared to learn? Invest in high-quality early childhood programs.